Don't even bother saying how late you are.
So sorry, guys.
We're only there. That was 2 hours ago.
Toast to the bride and the groom.
You look glowing today. Never seen you look so happy.
I'm thrilled about this wedding, and I know it's costing John a lot of money.
It's not about the cost. I thought you really wanted this.
But I do. What star is that? The red one.
I don't know.
What's going on, Justine?
It's a planet that has been hiding behind the sun. Now it passes by us.
I just have one thing to say. Enjoy it while it lasts.
This is Edward Douglas from ComingSoon.net. I'm here with actor Alexander Skarsgard, who has been kind of exploding over the screens, both small and big, over the last couple of years. Best known for True Blood, playing Eric Northman. And he's been in a lot of movies. Some of them he shot a couple years ago, which are just coming out. Some of them which he's shooting now. I'm here to talk to him about Melancholia, which is the new movie from Lars von Trier, a Danish filmmaker who some people love, some people hate, some people like. And Melancholia is definitely one of those movies that's a very, very interesting movie, because it's like a kind of a movie in two halves. You're in one half of the movie, which is sort of like a big wedding reception. And the interesting thing is that you're actually kind of a second-generation Lars von Trier actor, because your father's worked with him for years.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about like how you found out about this project, whether or not you had he had a full script, or how he contacted you about it? Or...
Well, I was working in LA about a year and a half ago when I got a phone call from his producer, and I just said yes. I didn't know what it was about, but my dad's worked with Lars for many years. I think they've done 5 or 6 projects together, and he loves working with Lars, and I'm a huge fan, just like watching his stuff. I think he's a brilliant, brilliant filmmaker, and he's one. That's the only time I've ever said yes without reading a script, actually. But it was just like, I don't care what he wants me to do. Like, if I have an opportunity to work with Lars von Trier, I'm not going to say no. So yeah, I was really excited about it, and got the script and read it, and just got even more excited because the character is. I was shooting True Blood season 3 at the time, and Michael in Melancholia was just so different, very, very different character. And after, True Blood is great, don't get me wrong, but after doing that for 7 months, you kind of, it's fun to do something that's very different, a character that's very different from Eric, the guy I play on True Blood. So Melancholia was just perfect.
Had you ever visited your father on set? Had you ever been to one of his sets, or had a chance to actually see how Lars worked before actually working with him?
I actually worked with Lars one day 10 years ago. He did something for Scandinavian television with 3 other Dogma directors. But it was one day of basically like was shot for 5 hours. So
wow.
It wasn't really, it was fun, but it wasn't like...
Right, you couldn't really get the full experience, I assume.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It was basically one scene and one day and very kind of a very different type of project. So, but I hadn't been to. I hadn't been to a set where Lars von Trier set with my dad before. Other than that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I obviously, Dad was basically. I know how much Dad loves working with Lars.
Yeah.
He would always tell me, like, if you ever get an opportunity, just do it.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. It's amazing.
So how tightly scripted was it? Because it's basically you're in the first half of the movie, which is, a lot of it is like a big wedding reception. You have a lot of scenes with Kirsten Dunst where kind of a little more dramatic scenes, but like this, a lot of it's just this big wedding reception where there's a lot of people kind of interacting. Was it very tightly scripted? Was it something which is kind of like everything was very mapped out beforehand, or was there?
Well, it was scripted, but then a scene that's this long in the script could be 20 minutes long when we shot it.
Okay.
So you would start, and then you would just like keep going and improvise and go with it. And it's very unconventional in a way. The way he shoots, it's very different. He doesn't block or rehearse the scenes. You just show up and then you do it. And it's pretty chaotic, but it's so much fun. You're so free, and it's so liberating in a way. You can do whatever you want, and he doesn't care about continuity, or it's not like a master 2-shot close-up. It's like he runs around with a camera, and then what starts out as a master shot might suddenly he's like, the camera's this close, and it's you're encouraged to just have fun and go with it and go with your instinct, which is fantastic.
So it's kind of rehearsals. The rehearsal process kind of comes out of just filming long takes and just
and a lot of it, like the first take, will obviously a lot of it will be a disaster because we timing wise, people will show up too early or too late or like timing.
Okay.
But there will be these moments that are unique that you can't recreate.
I see, right.
And I think that's why he wants to shoot the first, like even the first blocking or the first rehearsal. Because there might be something that he can capture, a look or just one little thing, and then he'll use that.
So it must be surprising when you see a movie like this for the first time, then, because you must see the movie and go like, is there things just like...
Absolutely, of course, because he shoots so much. He runs around with that camera for hours and hours, and he's just rolling, So you never know, No.
And what was it like? Because obviously you had a pretty big cast there, pretty amazing. Besides your father, you also have Kiefer Sutherland and Charlotte was there. So I mean, how many days was that just doing those big reception scenes and having everyone there and
that whole reception sequence was probably 3 weeks maybe, something like that.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's besides the stuff with you and Kirsten. I mean, just the stuff like with all everyone together. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was probably something like that.
It was like the same set the whole time, pretty much. Otherwise,
Well, two. We had one interior set in a town called Trollhättan in Sweden, and then the castle was outside of Gothenburg on the west coast of Sweden.
Okay.
So the two different locations.
Oh, cool.
But it was just like you said, that cast is just ridiculous. With John Hurt and Charlotte Rampling and Charlotte Gainsborough and Udo Kier and Kiefer and it's just like ridiculous.
Yeah. Is there? I mean, did you get any kind of background about your character at all, or the characters? Because obviously, a lot of stuff we don't know about either of your characters. Like when I was watching the movie, it kind of unfolds a little bit. But is a lot of stuff before? I mean, is there a lot of stuff about that might not end up being in the movie? Like stuff that we kind of never really revealed?
No.
Okay.
No. And we didn't even talk about that so much. That's it was more up to me as an actor to kind of create that and between me and Kirsten trying to figure out, the relationship and how we'd gotten to the place where the movie starts, basically.
And did you also know about the whole second half where there was like a planet coming towards Earth and you knew about that, even though it didn't really influence the stuff you were doing at all, or
no,
really?
Because Michael doesn't really, there's one little moment where she points out the planet and he's like, oh, but
okay,
he's not. It doesn't affect him at all. He doesn't know that it's gonna, or it might actually hit, collide with
right.
the Earth.
Because I mean, it's so funny because at first it's like literally a movie in two halves. It's like this first half, which is a very thing, and then the second half, which is just like completely different thing. And I was curious whether or not how many people actually I wasn't sure if he actually gave you the entire script, or if he kind of.
Oh yeah, no, we had the whole script. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. So obviously you've been very busy. I mean, I don't know when you finished shooting True Blood, but you've been shooting like a bunch of movies since then. And it's funny because Straw Dogs you shot a couple years ago. 13's finally coming out, and that you shot probably even longer.
Well, that was many years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. You have all these in Battleship. It's not coming out till next summer, and you shot that a couple years ago too. Now, so it's really kind of interesting. You've been really busy in the off seasons of True Blood. And right now, you have a couple. Are you actually shooting a movie now? Or you actually just finished shooting?
I've been here in New York for 2.5 months, shooting 2 movies. Actually, one called What Maisie Knew, based on the Henry James novel, and then one called Disconnect. And now I'm heading down to Louisiana to do a movie called The East.
Oh, The East, right? With Britt, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow! You'd seen her first movie or
Another Earth.
She had 2 movies. She had that, but she had also The Sound of My Voice. Which
and Zal, who directed that, is going to direct The East as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's phenomenal. She's great, and he's such an interesting filmmaker. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, is that actually tied into Sound of My Voice? Because I know they were talking about it was a trilogy, but is it actually very connected, or is it a completely separate movie?
Completely separate, yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting, yeah. I'm kind of interested about What Maisie Knew because I actually first heard about it through Steve Coogan, who told me about it. So it's a very heavy drama though, right? Or is it like does it have some more humor than I'm expecting?
No, it has humor in it. It's I wouldn't say Kramer versus Kramer, but it's a custody battle, and about Maisie, this little 6-year-old girl, and she goes back and forth between the mom and the dad. And they're not really taking care of her. They're not really there for her. And Julianne Moore plays the mother, and she marries Lincoln, my character.
Oh, okay.
But then she's on the road. She's a pop star, so she's on the road a lot, and I end up kind of taking care of the kid.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of about our relationship a lot, and it was a lovely experience. I mean, Julianne Moore and Steve Coogan are both amazing, and Winata, the little girl, was so lovely. It's amazing working with her.
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting. They kind of you've gone from you do a lot of the indies movies, but you're also doing Battleship, which is just this huge tentpole movie. How are these indie movies? Like doing these indie movies is kind of just very relaxed. Do you like them because it's a relaxed atmosphere, or has it?
Well, it's all about like the material, about the who the filmmaker is, and the character in the script, and I don't really care what the budget is, or it's more about finding interesting projects. And with Battleship, that was a little over a year ago, but I met with Pete Berg, and I really liked him, and I was excited to work with him. And same thing with What Maisie Knew was a great script, a really cool character, and Disconnect was a phenomenal script, and a filmmaker that I really was interested in working with. And Henry Alex Rubin, he did Motorball. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
He's really, really interesting. This is his first feature, and
it's funny because the other guy who did Motorball also did a feature recently. He did Monogamy, I think, right? I think.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Monogamy. It's kind of interesting that the guys who did these docs together, all these docs, are doing.
Yeah, but he's really great. I loved working with him. So I wrapped that tomorrow.
Oh wow!
And then, so it's like I said, I don't care like if when you label things like studio or indie, or it's all about, like I said, the script, the character, and who the filmmaker is.
Are you gonna have a break before you get to go back to True Blood? You think, or
no?
No,
not really. I wrap the East on a Friday, and then following Monday, I start season 5 of True Blood.
Wow, when's that? What was
so
that?
I got a full lovely weekend of of chilling.
I mean, did you before that? I mean, it's funny because you've actually been acting for a long time, and it's kind of been kind of like project in and out, and kind of it seems like now you're very much. You have a lot of different things you could be doing, and so is it kind of a point where you need to take a month off, or would you rather just keep working through it?
Well, it depends. I mean, a little vacation is always nice, but it's just been like these projects have been, all 3 of them that I'm doing this hiatus are so interesting to me, and I'd rather do them than taking time off.
Yeah,
because it's physically tough, of course, and emotionally draining sometimes, but it's also so exciting. Like, I love what I'm doing, and I love these opportunities to work with these filmmakers and amazing actors and on great scripts. So it's definitely worth it. It's not like I feel like I need some time off before True Blood. I love this.
Oh yeah. What have you actually seen any of Battleship yet? Have you actually had a chance to see any of the?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Okay.
Nothing at all. I haven't even done ADR yet. So.
Oh really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. No idea.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious about that because I see the trailer is something that could be taken very seriously, and I'm not really sure if it's supposed to be seriously, or it's supposed to be like there's some humor to that what they're doing or not. I don't know. I'm so really curious. I thought maybe you might have some insight, but
no, I'm as curious as you are.